that is something that is, I'm trying to figure out how to speak into a little bit more. And I've seen over the past several years, just I think people who, and rightly so, it totally makes sense that this happens, but people who come out of the group, in many cases, want to throw out Christianity altogether. And I totally understand why they would feel that way. I think what I want people to understand, and what I hope they can kind of see in you, is that the WMSCOG, as hard as it might be, I understand that me just saying this isn't going to make it click, but the WMSCOG is about as far away from what biblical the Bible actually says about what Christianity is. And I get that it would be so hard to not associate, the Bible and any sort of Christian-like practice with the experience of the WMSCOG. But just, some of the things we've talked about, if you begin to grasp and see that, wait a minute, like at the core message of what Jesus actually talked about, what he was actually trying to get across, it had nothing to do with all this garbage that the WMSCOG talks about and what they focus on. The heart of what Jesus was actually conveying it's just a black and white difference. They're just not even in the same realm. And so I that's what I would just like. People are totally free to totally reject religion wholesale and Christianity wholesale. I would just hope that people would recognize that when you reject the WMSCOG and decide to walk away from that, that's not one and the same as
it's completely different.
What Jesus, you're not. And so I just think give what Jesus actually taught a fair shot, and in whatever space or time or place you're able to do that. Because I just think I think that what Jesus has to say and what Christianity, I think, is as it really is, what it has to offer, is just so much different and so much better. I've grown up Christian, and so I'm in a weird place with my faith, and I'm figuring out a lot of things. I'm changing my beliefs and on a lot of things that I've believed for a long time, and seeing different problems that exist within different areas of Christianity. But I see something in it that I think is just beautiful and good, that and I see something even in the things, many of the things you're expressing about, I think, just the peace, and what I think is really what, really understanding what this God that's talked about in the scriptures is really all about. And if he is really a father, a daddy, then that's so much different than anything that the WMSCOG conveys. And so that's just a really long-winded way of saying, don't, I think, be careful not to assume that the WMSCOG in any way is a accurate reflection of Jesus or the New Testament documents or anything that's in that. So
I 100% agree. And even just like what Jesus has done, and I mean, completely, and I would even go as far to say is that it's so polar opposite that, like, what they're teaching is teachings of Satan, influenced by Satan and demons, and this is Jesus Christ. It's the light, and I mean, it's not even like there's no similarities whatsoever. Like, there's no overlap whatsoever. Like, it is completely, like, could not be more different, like perverted form of just
I agree. It really, that's a good, I think that's a good way of putting it. It's just a perverted form of a perverted interpretation of the Bible and of Christianity, and so it really is no interpretation of it at all, and not one worth. It's not worth taking the WMSCOG's interpretation of Christianity and then rejecting Christianity because of the WMSCOG's interpretation. Like there's so much, even just on a scholarly level of just understanding, just like a scholarly, more scientific, I suppose, if you will, like approach, an intellectual sort of perspective on the Bible. Like the WMSCOG just misses it on every level. They don't have even just a scholarly a way of approaching the biblical text and understanding historical context and even appreciating just that aspect of the Bible. And so, I would say you could go listen to like atheists or agnostics, like Bart Ehrman, like New Testament scholars who aren't even believers, and you're going to get like just a better understanding of Christianity than you will from the WMSCOG, like as weird as that is to say. And so, so that's just, I guess we can't really emphasize enough that WMSCOG is not Christianity. So don't just be careful not to throw out the whole thing just because of that. And so I totally understand that people need time and space, and that might be years, that might be months, and that's totally understandable.
And it's just like this. Jesus is freedom and grace and peace and love. Like love. What they're teaching is shame, condemnation, fear, and slavery. Like, and I would go as far to say, like, if you are coming out of this and you like that and you're seeking and you're searching for that, I would actually recommend you to read the gospel and to give it a shot, and even just at your own time and pace. But
that would be interesting to have. What would a former member's experience of the Bible be if probably for many of them, even if they've been were members in the church for 10 or 15 years, for many of them, it would probably be the first time doing so to actually just sit down and take like the Gospel of John and just read it all the way through and try to understand, I know I heard for 15 years what the Church of God said this is all about. Well, I'm just going to sit down. I'm going to read through this. I'm going to figure out, okay, what is this really all about? Is this what I think it is? Does this have anything to do with what they said? And so that would be an interesting, I guess, kind of experiment to see what would happen in a situation like that. So.